Good morning, everybody. My name's Athena. I will be helping lead our Sunday service this morning. And I'd like to welcome you and thank you for Sanctuary Church, Sanctuary Community and Celebration today. Sanctuary Church is a 508c1a faith-based organization. Our faith in sacred mushrooms stems from prehistorical use by our ancestors and personal experiences of our modern members. Psilocybin mushrooms are one of the greatest sacraments that nature offers, raising our awareness so that we can access a direct connection to the source of life. It is our sincere belief that the consumption of psilocybin-containing mushrooms is a communion, which brings us closer to what is commonly called God. We understand this concept as pure consciousness, which permeates all being. This pure consciousness is, we believe, the ineffable source of creation and the origin of health and well-being. Our vision at Sanctuary is to live in a world with supportive and joyful communities, empowered to discover our own divinity with sacred mushrooms and each other. We are bringing people together for healing and connection to divine revelation through communion with sacred mushrooms. We ask you to mute your mics if you're muted already. The 30-minute service portion of our gathering is being recorded and will be posted on YouTube for community viewing. We'll begin with a short guided meditation followed by 2 readings to facilitate our journal prompt and the discussion following service. Prior to the 90-minute discussion, we'll invite one of our community leaders to share some sanctuary announcements, updates, and FAQs. We invite you now to find a comfortable space where you can settle in and be present as we begin our service today. And I'd like to invite Kevin to lead us in a short meditation this morning. Kevin with us.
I just talked to him a few minutes ago. I know he's got a new phone, so he might be messing around with that. But he's intending to come to service as of a few minutes ago.
This message for the Zoom link. Yeah, I can help. While we take a moment together, ooh, Kevin will be able to join us.
Well, we can just do some silence if we want to. Just set a timer for 3 or 5 minutes here and just have some silent time.
All right, sounds good to me. We'll come back together in just a few moments.
You have the timer?
Don't know how to do the timer on
Okay,
Zoom.
I got it. I'll set the timer. Go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Just settle in and relax yourself. Center down in some belly breathing. Just allow your diaphragm to relax down, your belly to expand out when you breathe in. Just in and out, here and now. As we have just about 2 more minutes here, let's take a moment to reflect on areas that where we can be grateful in our lives. Nothing else, just the breath. Just about 30 seconds more. Are you ready to open your eyes and come back into the Zoom room? We're all here together. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Before we move into our readings, and while we're still in this mindful, centered space, I invite us all to place our hands on our heart as we take a few moments to send loving intention to our sacrament and to all who cultivate or consume sacred mushrooms. Without these gifts, our Creator, and the communion of our members, this community would not exist. The healing done by our sacrament is not limited to the times when we consume the mushroom, but extends into all aspects of our lives and spreads like the mycelium around our world. It is through intention and attention that we call forth the healing power of the mushroom and the community that we have formed around it. Let us use our ever expanding awareness to bring greater peace and healing to our world. Let us radiate gratitude from our hearts to our Creator, to our community, and to those who cultivate our sacrament. For these gifts impart healing to those who commune with love and sincerity. In cultivating and consuming this sacrament, we become aware of the oneness of life, the knowing that we live in all things and that all things live in us. Let us apply this understanding to all of our relationships and aid us in our journey as members of the human family. Thank you. Our rotating text selected by our founding minister, Eric Osborne, and comes from the book Psycho-Cybernetic. I'd like to invite Chris to help us with our first reading.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. This reading is Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. The answer exists now. When we set out to find a new idea or the answer to a problem, we must assume that the answer exists already. If you really have an intense desire and begin to think about all angles of the problem, your creative mechanism will go to work. Your scanner will begin to seek through stored information. It selects an idea here, a fact there, a series of former experiences, and relates them or ties them together in a meaningful whole that will fill out the uncompleted portion of your situation, complete your equation, or solve your problem. When this solution is presented to your consciousness, often at an unguarded moment when you are thinking of something else, or perhaps even a dream while your consciousness sleeps, something clicks and you recognize this is the answer you have been searching for. Every human being has been literally engineered for success by our Creator. Every human being has access to a power greater than oneself. If you were engineered for success and happiness, then the old picture of yourself as unworthy must be in error. The unhappy, failure type personality cannot develop a new self-image by willpower or by arbitrarily deciding to do so. There must be some grounds, some justification for deciding that the old picture of the self is in error and that a new picture is appropriate. You cannot merely imagine a new self-image unless you feel that it is based on truth. Experience shows that when a person does change this self-image from unsuccessful to successful, from unhappy to happy, from unhealthy to healthy, this person always has the feeling that, for one reason or another, they have seen the truth about themselves. The funny thing is, you do not need to know how you will accomplish these goals or uncover these truths. You must only form the mental image of the goal you seek to create, the person you hope to be, and the how will come to you. Hold the image, remain calm and relaxed, and the answer will arrive. This is the built-in guidance system. Its nature is to operate spontaneously according to present need. It comes into operation as you act and as you place a demand on it by your actions. You must not wait to act until there is proof. You must act as if it is there and it will come through. Do the thing and you will have the power, said Emerson.
Thank you, Chris. Please take out your journals and pens for 5 minutes of reflection, utilizing the following prompts. Can you remember instances where your self-guidance mechanism led you automatically to a goal? How might you apply this function to any other accomplishment you might hope to achieve? We will have the opportunity to further explore what we journaled during our discussion following service, and I'll set my timer for 5 minutes. About 1 minute left. Please wrap up your thoughts as we move into the next portion of our service together. Paradoxical nature of life and its mysteries are best experienced through the ineffable space we find in our communion with the mushroom. For more than 2,000 years, the Tao Te Ching has provided guidance and instruction for exploring the paradox of existence. It is for this reason that we employ the Tao Te Ching as our primary sacred text and invite all to study it further as you delve deeper into the mystery of life. I invite Carla to read today's Tao Te Ching chapter.
Good morning. Tao Te Ching, chapter 69. The strategists have a saying, I dare not be a host, but rather a guest. I dare not advance an inch, but rather retreat a foot. This is called marching without moving, rolling up one's sleeves without baring one's arms, capturing the enemy without confronting him, holding a weapon that is invisible. There is no greater calamity than to underestimate the strength of your enemy. For to underestimate the strength of your enemy is to lose your treasure. Therefore, when opposing troops meet in battle, victory belongs to the grieving side. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. We'll begin moving into our announcements today, and I invite Susan to share upcoming events and offerings.
Our virtual circles and workshops are open to non-members for a suggested $5 donation and remain open at no cost for official members. Virtual offerings this week include Monday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, Directors Open Office Hours. Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, Internal Family Systems. Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, Sacred Passage Support Circle. Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, Psilocybin and Sobriety Circle. Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 a.m. Pacific, Sanctuary Book Club. Please register and find Zoom links on our events calendar on sanctuary.org. Applications for our April to May cohorts of our Subtle Sacrament, Cultivation, Myself, and Friends and Family Minister programs close next Sunday. Becoming an ordained minister gives our members the fundamental education, greater protection, and continuous support to administer sacred mushrooms to ourselves and friends and family who are also official members. If you will have been a member for 4 weeks by the program start dates, you can submit your application until tonight at midnight. We hope you join the 150 plus ordained ministers within our community. You can find links to apply at sanctuary.org or in your member portal. This Wednesday, Eric will be leading our Sacred Community Circle from 6 to 8 p.m. at Clifton Universalist Unitarian Church on Payne Street off Frankfort Avenue. This event is offered at no suggested cost for official sanctuary members and is a suggested $10 for non-members. See our community events calendar on sanctuary.org to register. On March 31st, we'll be hosting a family-friendly Easter potluck open to sanctuary members and their families at a Louisville, Kentucky park. We'll have a few activities for the kiddos, including an Easter piñata and an Easter egg hunt. Bring baskets or bags for the kids to put their eggs in. Find the registration link and all details in the Kentuckiana section of our member Discord server.
Thank you.
And Athena, for those folks in Ohio, on Easter Sunday, I'm going to host a potluck at my house. So if you're interested in coming to that, just send me a message on Discord.
Awesome. Thank you. If you're not yet a member and are interested in joining our community of almost, well, over 450 official members, you may begin the onboarding process by visiting sanctuary.org. Like the mycelial network we seek to emulate, Sanctuary relies on the support and resources of our community while giving back health and wholeness to the same. We seek to create a nationwide and eventually global community that contributes to the healing of humanity. Your support is incredibly valuable as we grow and even after we are established. Becoming a member gives you access to our private official member chat server via the Discord app, minister ordination programs, our network of sacrament cultivators, sacrament services facilitated by our friends and family and community ministers, discounted community offerings, and so much more. I'd now like to invite Silver to announce our new members this week.
Good morning, everybody. So there were 4 new members this week. We have Adam from Colorado, Erica from Wisconsin, Renisha from Kentucky, and Sarah from Maine. Welcome, y'all.
Oh, great. We are going to move into our state of sanctuary slide. And I invite Eric today to share with us.
Hey, y'all. Yeah, so I'm going to share something that I know very little about, honestly, but I'm learning more about because it's really important and it's going to be it's something that we're integrating into Sanctuary. So everybody knows that we've been talking since the inception of Sanctuary that we strive to be a decentralized, non-hierarchical, and that has been an evolving process. You know, this is not something that is typical in any organization. Most everything for the last 6,000 years or so has been very top down, let's say. And we really want to create something that is more egalitarian in nature. And so Jason Eftink actually has done a ton of research into different models over the last few months. And it looks like holacracy is the one that, well, it's the one we're about to take a training in. He and I had a call with the founders of Holacracy one Friday to kind of finalize our initial discussions. And we are going to be doing some workshopping with them to learn how to implement holacracy in our organization. So I'm just going to read a little bit from Wikipedia, just kind of give you all an understanding of hopefully the stampede above my head isn't coming in through too clearly. To give you all a little bit of idea of what holacracy kind of attempts to embody. And I think it's also just an interesting note that the founder of Holacracy One that we're going to be working with is also opening a psychedelic church in Austin. So it seems that this model is pretty applicable to communities like us, and perhaps is exemplative of just a changing paradigm, which is what we hope to embody. So holacracy is a method of decentralized management and organizational governance, which claims to distribute authority and decision-making through a holarchy of self-organizing teams rather than vested in management hierarchy. Holacracy has been developed by for-profit and nonprofit organizations in several countries, blah, blah, blah. The origin, I won't go through that, but so basically the essential elements of holacracy are roles instead of job descriptions. So the building blocks of holacracy's organizational structure are roles. Distinguishment between roles and the people who fill them is a part of this process. One individual can hold multiple roles at a given time. A role is not a job description. Its definition follows a clear format, including a name, purpose, domains of control, accountabilities, and so on. The structure of holacracy is divided into circles. Now, there seems to be, to a degree, a certain amount of inescapability of some form of hierarchy, as there are varying levels of decisions that need to be made. But even within those kind of groups of decision making, it's never made from one person. It's never made, it's always a collective representatives from various circles. So holacracy structures the various roles in an organization in a system of self-organizing, but not necessarily self-directed circles. Circles are organized hierarchically, and each circle is assigned a clear purpose and accountabilities by its broader circle. However, each circle has the authority to self-organize internally to best achieve its goals. Circles conduct their own governance meetings, assign members to fill roles, and take responsibility for carrying out work within their own domain of authority. The governance process. Each circle is used as a defined governance process to create and regularly update its own roles and policies. Holacracy specifies a structured process known as integrative decision-making for proposing changes in governance and amending or objecting to proposals. And then the operational process. Holacracy specifies processes for aligning teams according to operational needs and requires that each member of a circle fulfill certain duties in order to work efficiently and effectively together. There are key roles to help organize the process and workflow. In contrast to the governance process, which is collective and integrative, each member filling a role has a lot of autonomy and authority to make decisions on how to best achieve their own goals. Some have described the authority paradigm in holacracy as completely opposite to the one of traditional management hierarchy. Instead of needing permission to act or innovate, holacracy gives blanket authority to take any action needed to perform the work within the roles, unless it is restricted via policies in the governance. And then there was one last thing I just wanted to say or share here. There's something I read. Various claims have been made in the respective holacracy have said to increase agility, efficiency, transparency, innovation, and accountability within an organization, and to encourage individual team members to take initiative and gives them a process in which their concerns or ideas can be addressed. Further, the system of distributed authority reduces the burden on leaders to make every decision and can speed up communication and decision-making processes. Holacracy makes individuals more responsible for their own thoughts and actions. So in so many ways, holacracy seems to really embody a lot of the ethos of Psanctuary. We talk a lot about individual responsibility within this work with the sacrament, and that is ultimately the truth. But at the same time, we're all accountable and connected to each other. So this may be, seem kind of boring and unimportant to some of you all out there, just kind of like want to show up for the fun stuff. It's not been something that I've necessarily been super enthusiastic about, because it's digging down into a lot of details. But we want to communicate to you all, first of all, for our immediate community right here, right now, that yes, we want to encourage as much creativity, as much creative license as possible, while still understanding that we're operating in a particularly gray zone in a lot of ways with scheduled substances and whatnot. And also, really importantly, at least for me from the go with Psanctuary, has been that the vision, just like Psycho-Cybernetics is talking about, like seeing a vision in the future of an organization that can outlive its founders and still not become a cult of personality or be hijacked by anybody down the road, right? We've all seen what's happened to Christianity, let's say, or Buddhism, right? everything is a far cry from the origin that it started. And I don't know what we're how capable we are here of creating something that can really be organic and shift to meet the needs of the members throughout time. But that is absolutely our effort, our goal, our commitment. So holacracy, I'm sure, will have some flaws, just like democracy does, right? But y'all bear with us. You get to be part of the decision making as much as you want to be, part of helping create this thing as you want to be. So we're really excited about our training that's coming up in the next couple of weeks, and then some other plans to utilize those educational resources and the individuals with experience who can really help to integrate this into our daily operations as an organization. So if anybody has any quick questions, I'm happy to answer them. If not, then I will just remind you that we are skating at Robin's Roost today. And I know we got a few people that are going to show up, so we'd love to see more folks. Any questions or thoughts on holacracy? All right. It's going to be sloppy probably, y'all. Just bear with us as it unfolds, but we're doing the best we can to create something that can, yes, be organic and outlive us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. All right, everyone. We've come together with intentions of service to the land and all its inhabitants. It is in our hearts to go forth into the world with the collective consciousness. We encourage you to stay for continued fellowship and conversation around our readings today. And for those unable to stay, we thank you for being with us and wish you a great week ahead. As we further our conversation, please remember that all perspectives are welcome as we search for the spiritual truth that unites us all. Please remember that we are not a medical or therapeutic organization. Statements made by the moderator or members of Sanctuary are their own. We are here discovering and exploring along with you. And I'd like to invite Amy to lead our discussion this morning.